so used to Pipeline's intro now. It's just running in my mind. Hello, I think we are live, getting ready for today's Indie World. I'm Tom, joined by Tris above me and Don further above me. Chat, can you all hear us? And everyone, how are you doing today? Are you looking for a game other than Silk Song here?
Other than Silk Song,
Other than Silk Song.
I mean, we can knock off right off the bat that Silk Song doesn't feel impossible. It's gotten ratings lately. Like there's evidence of it existing again, relatively recently. So
yeah.
Multiple indicators. There was an age rating in Australia. There was a page up on, I think it was Xbox.
Yeah, I think the Xbox page is up because it's gonna go to Game Pass when it comes out. So
yeah,
it's gonna be day one on Game Pass. But at the same time, is Silk Song too big for an indie world?
it could have its own direct.
Own dedicated direct. Oh man.
Oh, I'm gonna boost Tris and Don. Thank you, Seth. I'll try that, and we'll see how they are. But Plucky Squire, I saw Plucky Squire in the comment. That is another huge indie game we are looking for.
Yeah, Plucky Squire is one I could definitely see showing up.
I'm not sure. Does Plucky Squire even have a date?
I don't think it has a date. So. I think it's this year, but it doesn't have a date yet, if I remember correctly.
Like to me, like the problem is with this indie world is that they mostly focus on, say, stuff they haven't really featured before or does exist in some sort of indie timeline. So I'm trying to think if like Plucky Squire has shown up anywhere before, either a direct or an indie world.
I feel like Plucky Squire wasn't in indie world before. I feel like it was in one before, but it might have been like a while back.
Yeah.
Like not one of the recent ones.
Yeah, unless it's like super close, which I don't think it is, then they wouldn't show that again. I think they mostly want to focus on like stuff that is either imminent or stuff that they can showcase exclusively on their live stream.
Yeah, things that are coming out between now and like September. And or, I mean, well, given other indie world, sometimes we'll see a few things that are like coming next spring, but it's like the debut announcement of this indie game kind of thing, which they do a lot in these indie worlds. There's a lot of games that are kind of like debuted for the first time, like never seen, never heard of before, and it's a big deal to get their first announcement in something like this.
Yeah, the last indie world was mostly also like 1/4 of it were games I saw 2 months before that at Gamescom, so they existed in some sort of timeline already at minimum. So it's hard to say, you know. I think for example, if they had it in release dates they could showcase like as a surprise, then they would definitely throw it in there. I'm surprised, for example, we haven't heard about the new Necrodancer game for a few months now.
Yeah.
They just had I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation, Hatsune Miku update for the
original. Yeah.
Necrodancer. So I mean, it is possible. I think it was supposed to be like kind of first half this year, but that game, I played it at PAX West 2 years in a row now. It's
I played at PAX East last year.
So looking really good. They updated the boss fights and stuff. Like, there's not too many Rhythm Heaven-like games in it, unfortunately, it seems. But Danny B's music, phenomenal. It's going to be great when it comes out. Like,
outside of Melatonin, which is also really good, there is not much like Rhythm Heaven-like games on Switch.
Yeah.
So that game would be a good get if you could showcase it here already with a release date.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say I do predict like it is possible it'll shadow drop today or just be like, hey, it's gonna be out in a couple days. That's in the realm of possibility. Bits and bobs is another one. So.
Yeah, one thing that we definitely won't see here, and that got announced today, is that World of Goo is delayed until August. World of Goo 2.
No.
Yeah, that won't.
It was supposed to come literally out in a month, and now it's delayed until August. So there is that.
Yeah. I mean that that's one thing. Like you mentioned, like if something was in an earlier indie world, it usually won't be here unless it's like available now kind of announcement.
Or especially imminent within a month.
Or if it's imminent within a month. Especially if it's one that wasn't like in a recent one. But if it's one that like we kind of known about for a little while, it was in a more recent indie world, they kind of don't bring them back into these. Yeah.
No.
I did see a bunch of people in chat bringing up Pizza Tower on Switch.
We wanted that last
Everyone
time.
really wants. Everyone, yeah, I know. I feel like every time now. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's still a perfect fit. It really is a perfect fit.
No,
I've seen a lot of that
yeah.
game on Steam Deck, and it looks like it's actually pretty good for the portable format. So
No, 100%. I agree. 100%, I agree with that. I think Pizza Tower would be a good get. I don't think they ever discussed their interest of going to console, but it would be a good surprise if they did.
yeah,
It's a smaller team. There's also Anton Blast for another Wario like out there. I don't think we've seen that in an indie world yet. So
no, I don't think we've seen it in the indie world yet. It was just at PAX East, which I learned about like in the last couple of hours, so I didn't get a chance to actually try it, but I did learn it was there.
Steamboat Gaming asks, what are you guys hoping for? Start with you, Don.
Ooh.
Like I said, I forget its name. Like Rift of the Necrodancer is what it's called.
Yeah.
I really want I would really love like Rift of the Necrodancer to show up here because it's a game I'm super pumped for. Will it though? It's really a 50-50. Like if that game is now done and it felt already good like a year ago at PAX East, but they delayed it obviously until this year. I think now is a good chance for it to show up. But honestly, who can tell because they've been kind of secretive about the whole game in general as of late.
That's true.
Tris, how about you?
Oh man, I mean, I think my favorite thing to come out of indie worlds is when I find like a surprise title that I never knew about that I'm just now really interested in. That happens like at least once every indie world for the most part. So I think I want to see like a satisfying surprise. And when I say that, I don't mean the wow, Cadence of Hyrule, an indie dev working on a Nintendo IP. Like, while I would love that, that's not what I'm saying I expect. Like from a much earlier indie world, one that comes to mind is A Little to the Left, where it's like this little like puzzle thing where there's like a cat that's messing up with things. I loved that. So I would love to see like some surprise game that I just never heard about that this teaches me all about for the first time, and then I immediately want to go get it.
Yeah, last indie world honestly did a good job of that. There were like 3 or 4 shadow drops, and most of them were at least interesting.
Yeah.
If at least something like that, that's already a big win because I don't think there's much happening otherwise on Switch this week. And April in general is kind of empty, outside of Another Crab's Treasure.
In a week.
Animal
yeah.
Surmount, the mountain climbing kind of physicsy game. So
I didn't even realize that was this month.
I think we got, well, they're like late April, early May. So we got a few great indies coming up just after a whole bunch of indies. Like I just finished Pepper Grinder. That was like a phenomenal mini like drilling game. Penny's Big Breakaway. That's arguably like borderline indie, but that's the spirit of indie.
I mean, Private Division makes it kind of murky, to be honest.
You got Christian Whitehead at one part, but then from Sonic Mania, but Private Division on the other. So
yeah.
Tris, I'm with you though. I love the surprises I don't know about. Highland Song, like last time, that was a really great one. I still have to play it, but that was a nice surprise to put in that indie backlog. I heard someone saying Deep Rock Galactic. That's kind of a bigger game, I think.
That is kind of a bigger one.
That's a pretty big one. I do love playing that with my
but,
friends, though. So.
Mm-hmm.
Sergeant Gnome says, I'm late on my indies. I just picked up Gunbrella. I still have to get through Gunbrella.
That's good.
There was a super high caliber of indies last year, and for Gunbrella to be kind of put down a little bit between them, that's kind of saying something. But yeah, that's one I have to get through. I had to beat the first boss again after getting stuck on him at GDC last year, where they said, "Oh, we'll tone down the difficulty a bit." So
did they?
I think
they did.
I think like 2/4 of what I play currently on Switch is indie games, to be honest. Lately, still a lot of Bellataro, which is the card game roguelike, which that game, apparently there's now a new version of that in beta on Steam, and that should come to consoles relatively soon with new Jokers and stuff, so that should be fun. But also there's a bunch of stuff that I didn't get to, particularly last year or like at the end of 2022, and I'm only getting now to, like, for example, Shovel Knight Dig. So there is like plenty of stuff still ongoing, which they might also just announce a sale at the end
Yeah.
for good measure.
They usually, I feel like that happens pretty often too. There's like an indie world sale that usually happens around indie worlds.
Oh,
Mhm.
I wanted to add one more indie title that's coming up too. Crow Country, by the people who made Snipper Clips. That's
Ooh.
coming
Oh
up as
yeah,
well. Although I think
yeah,
that
yeah,
one's
yeah,
not on
yeah.
Switch. I think that's more
Ah.
No,
PS5 Steam.
it was not, but
Well,
Okay.
maybe it'll come to Switch too, and that'll be announced
Mm.
here. Or Switch as well, I should say, not Switch too.
Yeah, Valentine is saying a game I saw earlier in chat too. Haunted Chocolatier. Now that one they just had that's made by the Stardew Valley development team, which I think is only 2 people, and they just had that giant Stardew Valley update. So
Mm.
it might be a little too soon to see more from that new
Right.
game coming from them, but that would be another huge title if it did show up.
Mm.
Yeah.
But one thing that I keep seeing in the chat, so I will kind of dispute that, is Majestic from Majestic Melodic about Harmonite 2, a port of the original. A, that was published by Nintendo and made by Game Freak, and two, the director of that game, James Turner, is now making the Plucky Squire.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Well, that makes sense.
Yep.
Oh, we got Pan and Ward says Deltarune Chapter 3, 4, or 5. Well, I think Chapter 3, if I recall in their newsletter, is complete. I'm not sure about 4 or 5 yet. That might still be a bit early.
They wanted to release them together now,
Yeah.
didn't they? Yeah, so that might it might be a bit still.
I did play through Chapter 1 and 2. I just loved the last boss of Chapter 2 so much. I highly recommend it, although I can understand if you want to wait until they all are out at the same time.
I see 2 that are worth mentioning. Of Sam Johnson says Balatro, and Super Aiden says Lethal Company.
Oh, Bellatrix is already on Switch, so...
Balatro's already on Switch. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it came out day one with all other platforms.
At least they want everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lethal Company.
That's what the game I was talking about. I play it constantly on my Switch. I think right now it's in my, because I do keep track of that stuff, it's in my top 3 most played games on Switch this year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
It's so entertaining. I had this is solely for people who are completely in the know about the game, which is like 10% of this chat. But I had like 2 successful ones this past Sunday, and it felt so freaking good. That game is so incredibly entertaining. I love that game.
Nice.
I put it off because I heard how addictive it is until I got through 3 games. So I'm going to try soon. I heard it's based off Big 2, which is a game I played with my family for like 2 or 3 decades. So
the runs in Bellatrix are madness, absolute madness, because there's so many modifiers with those jokers that everyone can go almost completely right or almost immediately entirely wrong, and there's no in between. It's so entertaining.
Okay, and we're about 12 minutes out now from it starting. We have, the name is a stupid question, but it's actually a smart question. Hades 2 might be mentioned here. I will say that just had the technical test you could sign up for on Steam yesterday. I feel it's a little too early because you have to have early access, and maybe even then it's not out on Switch till the actual release is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's the actual release.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly it. I think until it has like a full release date, not counting early access, we're not going to see it on any other platforms. And I think to announce it for Switch now would be, I feel, a bit too early. Like, even if it's just dedicating to, yes, we will put it on the platform, that still feels too early when it doesn't have a dedicated release date yet. So
Yeah. No, 100%.
Because I think one thing to keep in mind right now, too, is while with indies, we could definitely see a bunch of things releasing on the Switch even after the Switch successor comes out. If the Switch successor really is coming out, like, sometime early next year, I imagine most of the things we see here are primarily going to be before then, but we'll still see something set for after. But I don't think it's going to be a ton after. And if we're already in halfway through April, if a game doesn't have a release date yet, I kind of feel like it's probably not this year in general.
Yeah. Somebody, Sergeant Gnome asked, is the El Shaddai HD remaster considered indie? No, I don't think so. Um, I mean, the thing is with El Shaddai, it was originally published by Ignition, which is a company that no longer exists anymore.
Yeah.
So it's being self-published by the original developer of that game on Switch, which is in about, I don't think this week, but the week after that, it's when it's come out on Switch. Which, surprisingly enough, it only came out before on Steam and is no planned release for Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah.
Which, despite
okay.
originally coming out on Xbox and PlayStation.
I remember playing that game at Tokyo Game Show over a decade ago, I guess now. It was pretty good at the time.
I love that game. I think I'm very much looking forward to it. It's also included all the DLC and it's like $20. So it's a really good deal for it now.
Oh, you know what we haven't talked about yet? Shantae. There's that new Game Boy
Physical
Shantae.
release as well as digital. So
Does that have a release date yet though?
I think it was pretty soon.
I know it was supposed to be for this year, but does it have a date yet?
I think we've heard like a window at least. So that one,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the multiplayer in that one.
Because that is one I could see showing up. Even though I think it was actually in the last Indie World where it got announced, I could see it showing up here again if it's like imminent or soon.
Yeah, that one.
That's fair. Yeah.
I'm sure Andre will take his amazing analog pocket and show it to me later. Just, I think I can actually order that now. So maybe one day. Excelled Hedge for the super chat. Thank you. Says Pal World Switch Edition.
Oh
Well,
boy.
That would be a borderline indie game. I think they can go to any event they want and show their game, but I think you save that for a director partner showcase.
Yeah.
If it will be coming, yeah.
If that happens, that does feel more like a partner showcase or full direct to me. That feels a little too big for indie.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got our poll kind of neck and neck at 54%.
Interesting
yes.
to keep up with.
54% leaning to Pizza Tower. It's like the new Silk song. So
I will say, I definitely agree with the poll that it's going to be Pizza Tower or Silk Song. I don't think both will not be here. If they're both here at the same time, this by default becomes the best indie world.
It's
it
like
just has to.
the collaboration you've been looking for decades. Pizza Tower in the world of Hollow Knight. Like
Jesus, no.
That's gonna be some weird pizza.
It's like it's crunchy. Okay, we're gonna ask Tris, will you have a live stream tonight for Mario and Luigi?
Well, Mario and Luigi was yesterday.
Yeah.
That was Tuesday. But I am taking over our Mario Party streams for tonight over on Twitch. So that's at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. I'll be streaming Mario Party Superstars with everybody instead of Andre for today. He asked me to take over, so that'll be fun later.
Yeah, I'm still on Japan time. I have no idea what day it is.
So. But Mario and Luigi on Switch. I hope that happens eventually, but I definitely won't be here in Indie World. Though I will say, if an indie developer actually got, like, if Nintendo passed that over to an indie developer, I think there could be some really cool things done there. But that's not something I ever see happening, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, that should just make bold to make Sonic Shuffle 2.
That would definitely not be an indie effort, although it may take an indie effort to make a good Sonic Shuffle. But
yeah. All right. So we got two other games mentioned. Sergeant Gnome again saying more on the Gex remaster from Limited Run. But yes, I believe Limited Run does have their own presentation, and it would show up there. And Helios says a bit of a wild card, but maybe but the trailer for that Five Nights at Freddy anniversary game. Well, yeah. Oh, Don's disappeared from existence. Five Nights at Freddy's was too scary for him, unfortunately.
No, I mean, we have at least one of the Five Nights at Freddy's games on Switch. I don't know how many, but I think there's at least one. So getting getting an anniversary game on there would probably be good. That is technically indie, although I feel like that is also something they would save specifically for a direct.
Yeah.
So.
Hi, Don, you're
like
back.
big
Yeah,
enough.
I crashed for some reason.
No
Oh
worries.
no. You crashed right at the mention of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
And
I'm back.
we're about 6 minutes out now from the start of Indie World.
And the poll is exactly 50-50.
Yeah, and I guess when this does start, let us know what the audio levels for the presentation. Just make sure we're doing okay. Now, one thing I do love about these is when they show off when they have the developers present their games too. Get to see developers from all over the world. That's a sort of a special
really
part
like
of these.
this.
So
I do really
nice
like
touch.
this.
And
I see.
Yep.
I see in chat. The NZ Frenzy says, "How about a Cadence of Hyrule 2?" Unfortunately, that development team is currently busy with Rift of the Necrodancer. But
Yes.
I love Cadence of Hyrule, and I would love to see anything else like that. Whether
Yes.
it's another like Necrodancer kind of game for another IP, whether it's Nintendo or just some other big IP, or if we had just another case of an indie studio working with a big IP, because those are always really exciting, and you really get to see like fan interpretation of love for an IP whenever that happens, and I love when that happens. It doesn't happen enough.
Sergeant Gnome says a short hike sequel and medium hike.
I know. I laughed at that. I laughed at that. And
Medium stroll, if you will.
The Renaissance says, do you think Notch's new game could be shown? I think that's too early. I just saw that he was actually starting on a new game the other day. So it's like, well, good for him not being just locked up in his Beverly Hills mansion and going crazy. So, no, it's nice he's working on a game again. It's good to see. Horror Star Games, Elden Ring 3. No, I don't think we'll see Elden Ring 3 here. The closest thing we'd see for that is another Crab's.
What happened to Elden Ring 2?
I know, that'd be another Crab's treasure.
Robert Newton, nobody's played Soak Song yet. So that's not just you. Unless you mean Hollow Knight specifically.
Yeah.
No, back to Cadence of Hyrule. I did love how that, in my mind, improved on the formula of Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Yeah.
I was thinking about best games I've seen in something like PAX or GDC, and Crypt of the Necrodancer was up there because they had actual dance pads to try the game on. That was like an extra hook.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
That and Just Shapes and Beats had an amazing booth.
They usually do.
Yeah, so those. Do you guys have any booths for indie games that you remember that really stood out?
Oh man, I mean, I'll never forget from, I think it was Tiny Build. It was I think 2 years ago now. At PAX East, they had Ramen, which is a PvP style game of like a bunch of chefs slinging ramen at each other. It's an Overwatch style game.
Yeah.
Really funny, really silly. I think that's now an Epic Games Store exclusive though. I don't even know if it's coming to consoles. That one had a really funny booth where they had like an arcade like the cat like the claw grabbing things. For these, actually, I have it right over here. 1 second.
Our poll is at 50%. Jeez. So.
They had like a little catcher for these, and it's a
Nice.
Stress ball dumpling.
Oh, that's cool. I love that.
That's so memorable to me.
I remember a booth for an indie game called Another Crab's Treasure. It's coming out in like a week.
Yeah. I do wonder if it'll actually show up here though, since it's coming out next
I don't think
week.
so.
Like,
Yeah,
like I don't
trailers.
think it will.
Check out the trailer with voice acting in it. That was kind of a surprise reveal.
Yeah, it
recently.
was. Yeah.
One game that's probably coming out this year by the creator of Splunky 2 and a few other of his friends, UFO 50. Like 50 NES type games in one game. That was at PAX West a couple times years ago. And they're wrapping up development on this year. Like the creator of Downwell, he's also making a few games in there. That will be an amazing collection that will take forever to get through, but that's one I love. And we only got 1 minute now till the show starts.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Hopefully it runs. If not, you'll see me in a mad frantic to hit a play button. But we'll see.
I mean,
Folks.
the stream already started technically, so there is that.
Yeah. And it's about a 20-minute presentation today.
Yes.
So I thought one hilarious thing would be if they did just one more thing and they have like a surprise announcement. But then they went, oh, wait, we have one more thing. And then Silk Song. That would be pretty hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
That would be funny. One more for the one more.
Okay, something tells me Stellar Blade will not be in Indie World.
No, Stellar Blade would not be here.
My favorite indie game, Stellar Blade.
Oh,
There it goes.
It's starting for you guys?
Yep.
Oh, hasn't started for me.
It started
now,
for me.
As soon as I said that,
There we go. I moved it in.
Hello, everyone,
There we go.
and
And
welcome to Indie World.
Let me know the sound
I'm
levels, everyone.
Amber.
Thank you.
And I'm Tyler. We're back with more indie games coming to the Nintendo Switch system.
All right, let's get. What was that?
Oh, I'm just prepping for our first segment.
Thank you,
I
chat.
always forget.
Let's get going.
Always forget if it's the same host or not. But they said we're back.
These
Hey,
sound
Micah,
similar.
you ready to get started?
Yes.
Yep. Pip's here.
That's Stray.
Pip, you have a
No, it's
filter
Little
on.
Kitty,
What?
Big City.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that
I
makes
don't
more
think
sense.
anybody's gonna notice. Let's go. Hi, I'm Matt,
Oh my
director
gosh.
and lead developer on Little Kitty Big City.
I'm Micah, the animator.
and I'm Pip, the narrative designer.
Little Kitty Big City is a game about exploring a weird and wonderful neighborhood as a little cat.
The game idea originated when I was teaching my kids how to code.
And it's grown a lot since then. But the core is still the same. It's a game about being a little cat.
A little cat in a world filled with exciting distractions.
Made by people
I
who
can't
love
believe we have a cat
distractions and
VTuber.
cats.
We hope you love Kitty as much as we do.
I think we nailed it.
Yeah, and I think I've worked out the filter thing. Look.
And cats.
Not again.
That's the important detail.
You're
Hats
a
and hats.
curious little kitty in a
You want
big
to see if we can
city.
turn it up?
You were taking
Okay.
a nap in your favorite spot, but you fell and now you're lost. Talk about a near catastrophe.
In this adorable
Turn it up. How's
adventure,
that, chat?
you'll navigate a vibrant city to find your way home.
better.
And there's
Oh,
plenty
no.
to do along the way.
Like,
Check your to-do list. Some of the city's animals have found themselves in hairy situations, and you can lend a helping hand. Paw. Maybe one of them wants something shiny.
There's an
Another
entire
Good
list of
to-do
stuff.
stuck in a
list.
pipe.
there are also cat achievements to complete. Get petted by humans, knock
Cat
things
achievements.
over, you know, normal cat stuff.
Oh, we
No.
didn't mention kitty customization. Collect and
Oh, I
wear
love
over 40
this.
pretty nifty hats, like a ladybug, a shark, and even a bunny.
You can also perform emotes whenever you want. Oh, that's a big
Yeah, the hat.
stretch.
That makes sense.
It's a great way to look cute. Wow,
It's a
stirring
crab
up some
hat.
mischief.
Get ready to dig your claws in when Little Kitty Big City pounces
May
onto
9th.
Nintendo Switch May 9th.
Oh, May 9th. That's actually
Pre-orders
pretty soon,
begin
yeah.
later today on
Smart
Nintendo
after a few
eShop.
indie games coming out. So,
Hmm.
oh,
You
it's
ever
the
get that
future.
feeling
The future.
like you're meant
future.
for something more? That's been kind of my deal since forever. But now,
Let's play a
something's
Well,
platformer.
think of a side-scrolling game?
there's something powerful
Oh, could this be a Mighty Switch Force? No, it's
Oh, wait for it.
and fly.
And that's alright.
Kotek needs to be stopped. And I'm the
Oh,
one.
this looks very
like a Space Invaders.
Probably. Hey there! Emi Kimura here, aka
Yours
Yar.
rising.
If you want to use my handle, which you totally should, join me on a high-stakes sci-fi action-adventure in Yar's Rising, the newest game from WayForward and Atari.
Huh.
It started as your typical hacker-for-hire gig, spirals into a
Interesting.
weird intergalactic
It
conspiracy.
is very interesting. It
involving
seems like a little bit
mega-conglomerates
hacking, a little bit
Kotek.
of more
Help me run,
stealthy
jetpack,
approach to
and
combat.
blast
Yeah.
our way into unlocking the
With,
mysteries of this
hacking
corporate empire in
games.
Yar's Rising.
Yes.
Wait for it
Launching
just
on the
had
Nintendo Switch system later
Contra,
this year.
Operation Galuga,
Year.
too.
Sorry, I meant here.
Yeah, that's correct.
2024. They make a lot of games.
The movement looks a little slow, but it still looks
Yes.
good.
A
Yeah.
journey of
That's why I'm saying it's more
self-discovery
stealth than actual
Yeah.
in
Metroidvania.
this exploration-based adventure. Take on the role of an android, the creation of a
Myself,
doctor
the
who has
personality
since
test game.
passed away.
That's a mouthful.
Every action you take and decision you make during
We're
your
in an
journey
era where mouthful
reveals
titles
a
are
little
good
more
now,
about
so.
who you are.
And there are no
true.
right
Have
or
you read
wrong
manga?
choices. Travel to places from your memories, interact with other characters, and gradually piece together the future the Doctor envisioned for you. At the end of your journey, your personality type will be revealed.
With
that's a
23
neat twist.
personality types to discover, you can make
That's a lot of
different
replay value.
choices in each playthrough and see where they lead
So basically, you are
Will
a
you end up
robot
as a
becoming
proactive
something
leader?
in that specific
What
run
about
or
a
life.
wise sage? Or even a strong-willed samurai?
And if you're curious about the personality types of other players, you can share your results with each other and compare your choices.
Check yourself. Which personality you want to be? I want to be a judge.
Yeah, that choice is too. That's funny.
Find out who you are
ultimate-
in Refined Self, the personality test game, launching as a timed console exclusive on Nintendo Switch this summer.
Alright, that's cool.
Timed consoles.
Hi everyone, we're Spy Garden Games, the developers of Sticky Business. We drew our inspirations from the small businesses and creators we saw popping up on social media. It's
That
been
sounds
so
familiar.
inspiring to see
It
all
does.
those fantastic artists
glad the
create
dog's
cute
part of the team.
stickers, assemble beautiful packages, and
The
learn
dog is the
about
best
their
programmer.
customers' wholesome stories. So we wanted to make a game where you can experience exactly that for yourself. It was supposed to be just a short project, just a few weeks, but then so many people liked the concept that we kept working on it. We're excited for you to play on Nintendo Switch.
I'm glad we're
That's what happens when you have a
sticking
good Game
around
Jam
for the
game.
cozy
Yeah.
It's the amount of dog and everything.
You've got a sticker shop to run, so let your imagination run
Yeah, I've seen this
wild as
before.
you create
Yeah.
stickers and ship them off to
Maybe it was in a
customers.
wholesome direct.
Yeah, it wasn't a wholesome
I think it's
direct, I
wholesome,
believe.
yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
There are over
You're basically
400
selling like
elements to choose from when
sticker
creating
books
your
to
stickers.
like customers and earn
And you can
experience
get
and stuff.
upgrades for
It has a
even
weird
more
but
options.
fun gameplay look, it
Wow!
seems to it.
Boba, ice cream, books, pizza, and raccoons?
Oh, there's plenty more. And
Four
you can
clubs.
add
What do you
effects
mean
like glitter and
dishonest
sparkles.
pixels?
So combine
What does that
whatever
mean?
elements and effects you want to design your artistic adhesives.
But no shop is complete
Did
without
you know
its
the original
customers.
Super Mario Brothers was
Each
made
one
with
will ask for
pixels?
different stickers, and by fulfilling their requests,
I
not
love
only will
Capybara
you impress your
mentioned
customers,
when I was in
but
Japan
you'll
recently.
also learn more
Capybara is
about
going
their
extinct.
lives.
It's not there as
From a
often
music
now.
teacher
in
striving
lots
to
of
Yeah,
movies.
motivate
I
her
saw
students,
that, yeah.
to a dad who wants to cheer up
That's
his
so sad.
grieving
I
child.
love capybaras.
Each customer has a heartfelt story to
I got one
share.
right here.
Who doesn't love
Plus,
coconut
the
doggy?
Plan With Me paid DLC adds 10 more customer stories and over 100 sticker
Adobe
elements,
Photoshopped the
including
game.
habit
But actually
trackers,
including the DLC with
washi
it.
tape,
Huh.
and frames. Get ready to build the cutest shop ever
Yo boy, frames
in
too.
Sticky Business.
Yeah.
Both the game and DLC launch as timed console exclusives
Today.
on Nintendo
Oh,
Switch
later today.
later today.
Nice.
A bundle of the game and DLC
Oh, and
will
it's console
also be
exclusive.
available later
Alright.
today.
Hmm.
Okay, that's
If you're
nice how there's
looking
also
for
the bundle
explosive,
available. That's
calming, or mysterious journeys, we've got you covered
7
with
minutes
this
in.
trio of upcoming indie games.
Close.
Not even
Check 'em
halfway.
out.
Trio.
There, Anton Blast. There you go.
I'm gonna find
That's what we get for Wario
Ooh.
today.
blast him into
You know what?
tiny
It's a big
little
deal.
pieces.
This is a
Have
big
a
deal.
blast in Anton Blast. The devil himself stole
Does handle
your
very
prized
well.
spirit collection.
Hey,
and
Anton
you're on
Blast,
the
let's go.
rampage to get it back. Wield the mighty hammer.
It's got the
as
foreground and
Dynamite
background
Anton.
movement, like Wario Land does.
We need more Wario
On a
Land type
massive
games, so I'm
maze
absolutely
as
cool with this.
Dynamite
Yeah.
Ant To lay wacky worlds to waste and beat up brutish bosses.
This is
Smash
very
up levels
stylized.
like concrete
I love
jungles
it.
and slimy
I guess we might get a
sewers
release
to
date here. I
alter
forget
their
if it was
paths
announced
and
yet.
find new areas to explore.
It usually says at
After
the end,
reaching
so
end
we
of
don't
each
know.
level, a detonator will start ticking down, so you've got to rush back to the beginning before everything explodes. Get ready for a destructively good time in
Release date?
Anton Blast, launching as a timed console exclusive on the Nintendo Switch system November 12th.
Timed console.
A
November
demo will be
12th.
available
Jeez.
later today on
November,
Nintendo
yeah.
eShop.
Okay.
Demo today.
Oh,
Demo
demo
today,
today,
though.
though.
First-person adventure awaits in Valley Peaks.
Medium hike.
As the new technician assigned to the peaks, you'll climb,
Valley
glide,
Peaks,
and
yeah.
even use your
Close
tongue
enough.
to scale the mountains, setting up radio towers so the locals can happily reconnect with the world. But with boulders, spikes, and other hazards in your way, the trek to the summits won't be easy. If you need a hiking hiatus, there's still plenty to do. Chat with the froggy folks and take on small side
This
quests.
one's a bit different. It's
Fill out stamp
first
cards
person.
for equipment unlocks
Yes,
to
like
help
rapid.
make climbing easier. Or kick back and relax with mini games. Plan your trip to Valley Peaks when it leaps onto Nintendo Switch this year.
So that was just more like an announcement.
This year.
Yeah. I mean, announcements are good too, though.
Yeah. Signer
Oh.
Wild Hearts intro.
This is the one that was in the not the one the partner showcase that was during E3 time.
Yeah.
I forget the name. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will this get a date now? By the way, when I mention names, everybody thinks, "Oh, Siren and the Wild Hearts." I think of Yearwalk. I love Yearwalk.
Well,
That Wii U
check
version of that
out.
game was so good. So if it's something similar like that, I would be very down. Because it's kind of an eerie adventure game that
It
was.
reminds me of Killer 7.
I mean, it sort of does, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Hi, I'm
May
Albert
16th.
Pinto, the
Okay.
creator of Europa.
Wow.
6 years or
May's
so
getting
ago, I
even
started
busier.
working on the game in my spare time, and since then,
the
it
creator of Europa is a
blossomed with
big
the help
thing
of
to
an
say.
amazing collective of friends, all bringing their piece of magic. It all started with the idea of using watercolor art style to evoke peaceful and zen vibes. I wanted it to be a meditative experience and to tell a beautiful story through gameplay that's able to put the player in a state of flow. I really hope
the one
you
screen you're showing
enjoy
at the
the
back
world
looks
that
very
we are
lovely.
creating here, and I cannot wait to show it to you. Thank you so much.
They worked on it for 6 years, is what I get from it.
Some say that humans brought life to Europa. If you ask me, all we did was unlock the life that was sleeping within. Europa is unbelievable, but it's not finished. We're
This
trying
is
to
like
build something
really pretty
better than
looking.
what we left
Yeah,
behind.
Yeah. This is like the best graphics so
That will
far out of the
take time.
showcase. Graphics aren't everything, of course.
Of course.
That is why
But
I'm sending you ahead.
it looks interesting.
Very floaty looking gameplay.
Yeah, it's like he's on a planet with low gravity.
Yes. But it's mostly one man working on it for 6 years. Holy snap.
That's only like one person.
If anyone
It's pretty
can
impressive.
decide about tomorrow,
Yeah.
it's you. Whatever you turn out to be, whoever you choose to become.
What Rose is saying, what struck me immediately was the landscape. It looks so yeah, it's very soundscape. It's very soundscape-ish. It's like
Almost
very
it's like
well
Wind
designed in
Waker,
that
it's
way.
like Wind Waker and Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you could glide without climbing? It's like sold.
Demo today.
Order
Demo
up
later
some
today.
pizza,
Wow, okay.
Because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are
Oh man, it's that
back on
small
Nintendo
indie
Switch.
company.
Hey,
Ninja
Splinter
Turtles.
Face.
First, radical roguelike adventure, Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo
Roguelike adventure?
must travel through
Yes.
reality-bending portals to rescue their kidnapped master, Splinter.
Well, the recent
With
pixel
each
art one is one of the
run,
best
you'll fend off
brawlers
the totally
ever.
bogus
So.
Foot Clan while
Have you played the
enhancing your
DLC for that game? The
abilities
DLC is
with
also
power.
really good.
I
But
played
no
it,
two
yeah.
runs are the
Yeah.
same. Upgrade your turtle powers
was
to
fun.
grow stronger and shred through the story.
The four turtles each have their signature weapons
This
and
looks interesting.
awesome abilities.
This does look
For
interesting.
example, Donnie's attacks have
Still
more range,
almost rather
but Raph has a
have
higher
pixel
chance
art,
of dealing
but-
critical damage.
No, that's fair.
After
It does
clearing
look
each
okay.
room,
Someone said-
you get to choose
someone
from a
says
variety of
this was
turtle
in
powers
Apple
to
Arcade.
customize
So I
your
guess this was
moveset
previously
and
an Apple Arcade
create
exclusive,
devastating
now
combos. Don't get too
going
attached
multiplayer.
though, because these powers reset when a run ends.
More
Follow up Ninja
customization
Turtles with
options
pizza
await
power. Yes,
back
that
at
would
your
make
sewer
sense.
home, where you can spend in-game currency you earned on your runs on permanent upgrades called artifacts. Pick the turtle and artifact that best suit your preferred playstyle.
Enjoy exploring iconic locations solo, or jump online with up to 3 bodacious buds in co-op play. Your team of turtles can drop in and out whenever
the fact
they
that the
want,
co-op is online,
making
that's
for a
fun.
no-crash
Mhm.
point sesh. Get ready to fight the foot when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate launches as a timed console exclusive on Nintendo Switch this July.
Pizza's here!
No way. No.
This looks familiar to me.
Oh, a new Cat Quest game?
Yay, Cat Quest.
That was in AAA.
Just I thought the second one was really good.
Many good things about them. The fact that it's still going is a good sign.
There seems to be more of a focus on the side-scrolling aspect of this one, which is not something they fully explored really even in the second game.
I love the art style.
Also the ship-based combat could be interesting with just little boats rocking around. But yeah, these games always been very heavy battle focused.
I see people in the chat saying we got a lot of cat games and we got a lot of pizza games.
Yeah, it's true.
We're missing out on farming.
I agree with Nintendo Capri Sun. This does look very satisfying to play.
Yeah.
Capri Sun, the second game is still it gets cheap a lot. It's really worth looking into. It's more focused on like medieval landscapes, but it's still like really good.
It's a game about handmade embroidery. It is such a blast for us to merge our shared passion for art and craft into our game, as we design a pattern called Hoop.
Together, we have designed over 180 hoops for
I like how
Nintendo
Nintendo blurred
Switch version,
the bookshelf,
and there are
but
so
only
many
the
more
books.
to come after the
It's
game
true,
has
yeah.
launched.
Lego
Our patterns
TV is
are
okay.
fusion of personal experience
Well, that's
and the
'cause the Mario
community's
one.
idea.
Yeah.
The penguin mascot is a gamified avatar of our producer Tanin.
Aw.
Some content
I know this
category,
game, yeah.
like
I
mystical
played
creature,
this
for
one
example,
specifically on Apple Arcade.
originated from our players.
Makes sense.
It's
hope you will
literally one of my
enjoy the game.
daily driver
Have
games
a
because of
great
how
game.
relaxing it is.
สวัสดีครับ
So it's fun that it's coming to another platforms because this was originally one of the first Apple Arcade games, like very early
Here's
on.
the nitty-gritty on
But the fact
this
it's coming out
cozy
now
game.
is
You'll
interesting.
complete puzzles called hoops to bring stunning embroidery patterns to
that
life.
exclusive
Stitch
window
together
does
groups
end,
of
and I've
cells
heard,
according to the
Apple
numbers on the
Arcade
grid
hasn't
while
had as
avoiding
many
any
recently.
overlaps.
Well,
Figuring
the
out
window for
exactly
this
where to
like
stitch
expired a
is
long
key
time
to
ago. I'm
completing
surprised
the
it's only
hoop.
coming out now.
From
They may
roller
not have been
skates
allowed
and
to start
teddy bears
working
to
on other
real-life
platforms
locations,
until that
there
window.
are
That
all
might depend on
sorts
the
of hoops
contract.
for you to needle
Yeah.
and noodle over.
But yeah, if you want a
Hoops come
relaxing
in
puzzle game
different
that's
sizes,
still
so you
satisfying
can
if you
take
can
a
figure
quick
out the
break with
minute
smaller
details,
hoops,
this game is
or
really
unwind with bigger
entertaining for
ones
that.
that
Like
require
really
more careful
allows you
thought.
to spend some time,
Complete
like
hoops in
especially
whatever
one of
order you
those when
like.
you get to
No
later
matter
puzzles
which
where you have
hoop
to
you
fill in like
choose, each
a
one
specific
has the
amount of
potential to
tiles
offer
and
a
you're not really sure how to
relaxing
do
and
it.
calming
That
experience
makes it
that
really
you can
entertaining
also
and fun.
enjoy with touch controls in handheld mode. After completing a hoop, you can play it again in free stitch mode and
touch
recolor
controls.
it to
Okay,
your
that's nice.
liking.
If a hoop seems too tough, don't worry. A handy hint feature can be used at any time. You can also tailor your experience with various accessibility settings.
Don't use the help
Chat,
feature.
hearing
Just
our,
do it yourself.
Try the
Do it
limited
hearing our
yourself.
conversation
Daily
about
Shikaku
Apple
puzzles.
Arcade stuff, saying
These
they
ones
bet
don't
Sonic
offer
Dream Team
any
will be coming to
hints,
Switch
so
too.
you'll really need to put
I
your
mean,
thinking cap on.
likely, yeah.
Weekly hoops are also available. Each one is inspired by real-life events and filled with trivia.
Yeah, I
so
mostly
stitch
participate
away
in
while
weekly hoop
learning
seasons
a fun
because I went
fact
through
or
the
two.
entire like the
Plus,
story aspect
once
of that
a
game.
weekly hoop is
They add new
unlocked,
puzzles
it's
still,
yours to play whenever you like.
till this day.
It's like there's a story mode.
Launches as a console exclusive
It's more.
on Nintendo Switch
I mean, there's
later today.
like basically a beginning and end to the puzzles that you have to complete, basically.
Before we go, let's take a quick look at a few more indie games
Recap
heading
before
to
maybe
Nintendo
one last
Switch.
thing.
Bzzzt. I
We
like
have
that.
Braid
I like that.
Anniversary Edition coming out soon as well.
That's cute. I like that look of that game.
I haven't seen this one.
him! Yeah!
Yeah, the one you jump in shadows.
The developer's actually very good friends of mine. It's coming out in July now.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I talked to them a lot about it. Like, Animal Well, May 9th.
Duck Detective? There's already Frog Detective.
Secrets a lot.
Duck Detective was one of the Steam Next games in the last Steam Next Fest. I played a demo of this.
How was it?
Really good. Honestly, very entertaining.
There's another crab's treasure.
And a crab's treasure.
Yeah, it makes sense to be in the real like this, since it comes out next week. I'm excited for next week.
We've got time for one last announcement before we run out of steam. Take
one
a
last
look.
announcement.
Steam? Is that a Steam joke?
Steam. Yep. I think we know what
Get
it is.
ready
then.
to sail the spectacular seas in this
Yep.
long-awaited Steam World sequel.
Oh, Steam World Heist 2.
The waters of the world have turned deadly, corroding the metal limbs and mechanical hearts of its robotic denizens. Now, it's up to you to explore the Great Sea and discover why this once essential resource has become
love
a
Steam
nautical
Wise.
nightmare.
I'm
Guide
cool with
your
this.
ragtag crew of Steambots in tactical, turn-based shootouts in a brand new adventure. Point, shoot, and let those bullets bounce.
This time around, you can explore the world map and engage in real-time naval combat. Equip your submarine with a variety of weapons and items, then line up your shot to blast back.
Yeah, that's sort of my problem with Steam World Heist. It didn't feel like the map screen had a lot of interaction going on.
Recruit them to your
now there's
cause
more.
and
Yeah.
embark on an epic voyage together. As you get to know more bots, you'll learn how your actions impact their lives.
Surprised it took this long for them
with
to
the
get
new
around
job
to
system
Steam World
and
Heist 2,
in-depth
because when Steam World
character
Heist was
customization, along
released
with over
during sometime during the
150
3DS and
weapons,
Wii U era.
utility items,
Oh, wow, so it's been
and
a while.
ship equipment
Yeah.
pieces, you can strategically
Well,
craft
we had a
your crew
different
to best fit the mission
Steam
at
World
hand.
game last
Your
year, the one about building
Steambot's
a
jobs
city.
and abilities depend
and
on their
mining.
equipped
Yes.
weapons
They
Yeah,
did,
and
say
yeah,
this,
yeah.
they did say this is the
Each
long-awaited
different crewmate
sequel.
also
So.
has
Yeah.
unique abilities that can
Steam
be
World Build
unlocked.
released last year.
course, you can
There's a lot of
also steal
updates for
and
that
wear
game. I don't
enemies'
hear many
hats.
people talking
many
about
hats.
that game, unfortunately.
Take aim and blast bots to bits when SteamWorld Heist 2 ricochets onto Nintendo
We're
Switch
kind of
August
setting
8th.
up summer here.
August 8th, wow.
That's all for today's Indie World. We hope you enjoyed the games in today's showcase.
A big thank you as always to our indie community and partners for bringing their experiences to the Nintendo Switch system.
Follow our official Indie World account to stay up to date on the latest news from Indie World.
Until next time, happy gaming!
Am I the only one who kind of cringes every time they say Nintendo Switch system?
You want Nintendo Switch family?
Yeah, remember the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game for the Nintendo Switch family of systems. Because real people talk like that.
Yeah, real people talking conversations about, oh, this is like Nintendo Switch system.
So, what games stood out to you from this Indie World, Don? Like, what are your top two, you'd say?
For sure. Well, the last one, I'm a big fan of the original SteamWorld Heist, like that side-scrolling gameplay with like allowing you to ricochet shots and go all over in the combat is something that I really enjoyed back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that they're revisiting that idea because obviously they revisited Dig a lot sooner. They revisited that in 2016, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So them waiting this long to do something with Heist, I find very interesting. Particularly because looking back at that game was very deep and had a lot of stuff going for it, but I didn't feel like outside of the actual combat and the story bits, there was not much in the way of like real exploring the world you were in. And I think that is something that they want to like correct course of this time around, and it seems that they are. And then the other thing, I completely slipped the name of that. It took place in a place called Europa.
Helder Pinto Europa.
Helder Pinto Europa, yeah. That game looks phenomenal, and it seems like they spent a lot of time making that game work from like purely gameplay perspective and how it looks and how it feels.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in trying out that specific demo and seeing what I saw on screen like reflects the gameplay experience we'll have in like the actual product. But it is something that we can see a bit later. So, yeah.
That one could have been saved for the end, really, in my opinion. Tris, how about you? What were your couple favorites from the showcase?
Little Kitty Big City just looks so cozy and great. I'm excited about that one. And Anton Blast, honestly, you know, your Wario Land style game that sure it's not Pizza Tower, but there's honestly a lot of hype behind Anton Blast as well. That the only real difference between Anton Blast and Pizza Tower is that Pizza Tower is already released at this point. That's really the only difference in terms of the hype levels for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So Anton Blast being here and even having a lot of similar mechanics, that's still very exciting. And that's a big deal. So I think
Anton Blast didn't really have a date, but once again, next to Europa having a demo of that is already crucial because you get a good idea of what that is really like.
Yeah. For me, I'd say Anton Blast and Europa. Europa being the neat surprise for me in this one, but
same.
It's a lot of different ones. They're surprisingly like in the past, there've been so many farming games. They kind of shifted gears from that. We had more cat games, I guess, today, or like naval battle games. No, just nice to see these little surprises. And of course, like coming up very soon, we have another Crab's Treasure. They reminded us of that. Animal Well. I mean, there are a lot of bzz, as you say, real. There were a lot of games coming up very soon.
Honestly, I don't think there was necessarily anything particularly bad in this indie world or something that didn't look any good. I mean, you could, for example, say that Stitch might not be up your alley, but it's a really full-fledged puzzle game at this point, and it's still getting updates till this day, and that will benefit greatly for somebody who buys it on Switch.
And people love getting their cozy puzzle games, and they had a couple of them in here. And I think overall, I think this actually had like a really great balance of like different kinds of games here. Like there was not an overwhelming amount of farming sims. There was not an overwhelming amount of cozy games. There was a good balance, and it paced a lot of them pretty well, actually.
Yeah, I think there was a good variation of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
which I didn't think necessarily the last indie world really achieved, because it felt like it was solely more focusing on one specific side of indie. Where it felt like it was up and down, like it was not one straight line of stuff that they showed. For example, like Cat Quest 3, just having that in the middle was also like an interesting palate cleanser. But it's also good that they're still making those games because they had some beef with their previous publisher. So it's good to see them back with making another one of those.
Yeah, and of course they had cat games, no dog game. Developers had a dog. I mean, come on, balancing it out. And I would say maybe one thing, this Way Forward game would be interesting to see how it actually plays. Maybe more hacking because, as we are saying, the gameplay looks a little slower. But maybe there's more puzzles involved. So that'll be a thing we'll see.
Yeah.
And of course, as expected, no Silk Song, no Pizza Tower. I think.
Nope. As expected.
Yeah, kind of expected.
I was kind of hoping for Rift though, but maybe it's not to be. Maybe it's something that is later down the line. I don't know. Once again, it's sort of like expected because I'm not a guy with big expectations. I'm expecting not much overlap from say previous indie worlds. And guess what? Most of the stuff we've gotten here hasn't been in an indie world before.
Yeah, it's usually indie world or out now, or like announcement or out now, and nothing kind of in between normally. So.
Yeah, Natsu, Yars Rising was also like interesting. That's the one I'm the most unsure about what I will think of it, because Atari as a publisher has an interesting track record as of late.
Right.
But with Way Forward and hopefully them having a good creative direction of what this game is like, that could be cool.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll admit I was getting pretty hyped if it was potentially a Mighty Switch Force game coming back.
That's not to be.
I know.
That's not to be.
Yeah.
And maybe telling about this is like a lot of summer release dates. Maybe it's going to be trying to fill in the Switch schedule. We'll find out probably in June about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, aside from that, any final thoughts, Don and Tris and chat? Any things before we wrap up here?
I think this is honestly
think
very solid.
Yeah, I think I gave my thoughts. Like the games that they showed were good. I don't necessarily think there's necessarily anything really bad in here. It's just that I have questions about certain ones of them, and it's kind of depending on if like they provide additional trailers or more information down the line, rather than this could be already bad and I feel bad about it.
Yeah. Same for you, Tris?
Yeah, I think like if I had to give it like a rating, right? Because we often do this. I think I would probably give it like a 7 out of 10, maybe 7.5.
Yeah.
Like honestly, very solid, good balance of games. There was ones there that had me excited, but there wasn't like anything that like blew me away.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it bad. It doesn't need a blow me away game to be a good showcase. Like it had a good balance. It had a lot of good
for me, it's like a 7 point. Yeah, for me, it's also like a 7.5. It's or like maybe even an 8, but it's more leaning to 7.5. It's nothing that is groundbreaking or you're like, oh my god, this is like the best thing they could have shown. But it's also like, it's fine. It's completely 100% fine.
Yeah. Not many digging games in this. Only SteamWorld. So for groundbreaking, but. Good mix compared to the III showcase last week, which is like like constant pedal to the metal acceleration for 45 minutes. And this one, I felt the games really differentiated themselves. There's enough pacing to remember them, but even still, like not many slow points, and at only 20 minutes, more manageable. But yeah, really a nice mix here, and of course hard when you have things like Another Crab's Treasure, Animal Well, and Crow Country, like all these other games coming out very soon to compete with this. But nice look at some other ones on the horizon and some surprises. Sure. Okay, well, thanks so much everyone for joining us today. This has been the Indie World presentation. Until next time, this has been Don, Tris, and myself, Tom. Thank you so much for watching. Farewell. I'm going to frantically try to press the stop button now.